Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I'm so very happy to be here with you this week in our episode of Be One, Be You, called How to Stay in Your Feminine Even When You Are Not Met. Our conversation today together is going to include both men and women. I'll define your feminine. Your feminine is the you that is connected to creation. Your feminine is born as you come in your body, because your feminine is half of the energy that makes up your soul. Most of us have been predominantly male in our inner self, or female. What does that really mean? It means that for lifetimes you've been reincarnating as a feminine spark or a masculine spark. So the male energies within you are created through your connection to your spiritual masculine. Your feminine energies within you are connected to your spiritual feminine, or what I would call your divine feminine, your divine masculine. I'd like to invite you to take a moment and feel into the most tender and feeling you, the receptive you, the you that you oftentimes have pushed down because you've been hurt. You haven't been really received or seen or heard for who you are. Both genders, both male and female, have experienced and are experiencing what it feels like to live in a culture where the feminine within inside of you has been pushed down. The feminine being a voice that cares for others, for your family. It cares for the planet. It cares because it is the interconnecting, woven thread of life. Your feminine is the source of creation within you. Your feminine is not what you wear. Your feminine is not the earrings you put on or the colors that you choose for the day. Yet, the color of your shoes, the color of that shirt you're putting on, your hat, a coat, you are adorning yourself, whether you are a male or female, man or woman. And as we break out of the separation of the feminine and masculine, we are able to, you are able to evolve through some pretty heavy-duty cultural, societal, and most of all, familial, ancestral, and religious patterns that have been created through the separation of the masculine feminine, to the point where we are having to work hard to restore our inner union. All of the world religions have separated men and women at some point in their historical journey in the sanctuary of God. And so here we are in a time where the feminine has a big voice. And those of you who are in a male body, those of you in a female body, those of you who are wanting to experience the opposite quality in yourself because you want to become whole, this message is for you. When your feminine is not being met, what do? what do you connect to? How do you stay in your feminine? The unevolved feminine is angry. For both man and woman. The unevolved feminine is like a plant under the earth that can't come up through the ground. It's stuck. And it has to work really hard to find its place that it can sprout up through. I was born in New York and spent a lot of time as a healer, light shaman mentor on the streets of New York in my apartment, and would always look for that plant that would make it through the crack in the cement. Those of you who live in cities, wherever you are in the world, know what it's like to see nature struggle, but it always finds its path of least resistance. So when you're connected to your feminine that has not been allowed to blossom, usually based upon your own belief thoughts, your belief system that you brought into this lifetime from previous lifetimes, and or the thoughts and opinions placed upon you as a child, that a feminine energy is supposed to be this way. It's supposed to act this way. You're supposed to fulfill this. These are the unspoken or spoken expectations. This is what you need to get used to taking. Messages such as being spoken to in a condescending way, having a male figure in your life, whether you are a man or woman, girl or boy, who would take out their stuff on you, who would unload their undealt with shit on you, their undealt with issues that would become your problem, and that unless you fulfilled their expectation of who you were supposed to be from their split-off perspective, you were made to feel wrong. The wound that is a cultural, societal, and global wound at this point is this feminine-masculine split. So here you are, whether you're in a female or male body, you are dealing with what to do when your feminine is not being seen, heard, or received. Power in our culture, in our global culture, is still coming from the split-off perspective of masculine, feminine. And the masculine has developed over many, many centuries of being in a state of mind that is separate from the feminine attributes. Now, I'm not talking about feminine behaviors. I'm talking about feminine power. The tsunami power, the volcanic power, the hurricane power. Think of the feminine on planet Earth as feminine, and it moves, and everything is in relationship to all of the other elements and aspects of creation. We live in oneness. We live in interconnectedness. And when we fall out of it, which we have on a global and societal, cultural, and family level, a community level, we see the splitting apart of our social values and morals, economic devastation, and big-time control issues. The out-of-control masculine, who is separate from the forces of feminine power, runs amok. It goes crazy. And we can look out into our circle of people that we know, the community, the town, the city, the village that we live in, and notice, is there a masculine feminine harmony created from a bridge between the two of them, or are they separate? Is creativity honored in the workplace? Is free thought, free thinking, spontaneous, one creative thought merging to another, allowed, honored, given space to be? The feminine is big space. So to get really clear, the feminine within you, whether you're in a male or female body, needs space. It needs to discover itself because we have put dampers on it. We have put veils and steel plate walls around us. We cut off, and then we turn to ways to try to reopen the feminine through pot, marijuana, plant medicine, alcohol. We look for ways to open the channels back into our natural state. It is way more productive and spiritually lasting and smart, because by connecting back to yourself through your own internal efforts to see where you're blocking yourself, then gives you the initiative, the ability to open the power of the feminine within you so that you can live from that place. So when you start seeing the inner dynamics of how you give your own power away, for instance, how you sublimate, push down your own voice, your own truth, how you say yes when you really mean no, how you stay in the same situations, whether relationship or your role in a family dynamic or in a workplace or as a consultant, an independent, an entrepreneur. You have to be willing to see your life as a whole and see what behaviors, beliefs you are choosing to keep yourself hidden, invisible, disempowered, and keep you in your belief systems about yourself, such as, I don't deserve, I'm not worthy. They sound really corny, right? A lot of you are shaking your head going, yeah, I can relate to this. They're very basic. It takes a lot of stripping off of your own arrogance and pride to go, yeah, this is what I really feel inside. I don't have the right to. I don't deserve. I'm not enough, because when I was a child, I was literally trained to not feel enough, because it seemed like unless I was fulfilling the expectations and the pictures of my parents and other elders, that there was inner judgment or beyond judgment. I took on a part in myself to make sure I wouldn't be too much. How does this tie into when your own feminine is being pushed up against? When you're not being met, when you're not being honored, it's because the other person hasn't opened to their own feminine power, their own inner feminine creation voice. Maybe they keep things in boxes inside of themselves. Maybe they believe to make money they have to structure themselves a certain way. Maybe that their masculine has taken over so much that they're not able to really sit and open and listen and take in. Maybe when they meditate, maybe when you meditate, you're really just going for a bliss state or a state of no mind. So what does that do? Not having access to the real power within you, it keeps you in a spiritual la-la land. It keeps you disconnected. And this is a bubble buster. I remember I was meditating, this goes back a long time ago, a certain way, and I've always been an explorer and a pioneer of integrating God and higher consciousness right in the body. And I was meditating, moving out through my higher chakras, through the top of my head, up into higher realms, a natural, easy direction for me. And practicing certain meditation techniques that took me in that direction. And then one day, I went, oh my God, I am moving in the wrong direction. I need to move down. I need to move down and in. I need to descend into the body and go through whatever is here. And whatever is here are called sanskaras. It's an ancient word. They're the grooves, the imprints, the patterns within inside of your memory body that you collect over a lifetime, from childhood, from being in utero. Every moment you are alive and aware. And then our mind starts to close, create doorways, and closes it. The reason that Spirit Gateways is called Spirit Gateways is I'm guiding you through how to reopen into the gateways, through the gateways, in yourself, back to your whole self, so that you can live in a state of oneness. That is what my membership program is all about. Spirit Gateways Light. That's what it is. You get to go from A to Z. It's not one healing modality or one meditation modality, one technique. It's everything that you need to come back into oneness, reconnection with the source within you, for real. And the only things I teach are what I experience. And that's been my motto now for many decades. And it works for me because it keeps me true. And that's what I have to be, because that's who I am. And you are you. And your feminine is a gateway that you open into. And it's easy to go, oh, there's Isis and there's Mother Mary and there's Persephone, etc. I was there too, but there's more than that, because you are connected to the God essence, God's source of the feminine that shows itself uniquely through you, to you, the way that you are configured in this lifetime. So when you are not met, when you're not received, when you're judged, what I'd like to invite you to do is to connect into, when I say connect, what I'm sharing is to bring your mind into a particular power point. This power point is your root center. It's the space between your pubic bone and tailbone. And drop in there as you bring pure white light up from the center of the earth. Okay? So we'll reverse it. Bring up the light. Drop your mind into the core of the earth and pull up a current, rays of light. One solid ray of light up through your feet, up into your root center, in the space between your pubic bone and tailbone. And know it's a flame of fire, pure white fire. Because that's the hottest flame in the core of the earth, on an etheric level. And when you get to the core of the earth, it's pretty hot in there. It's pure power. It is the power of the feminine. We're going to pull that up, and you're going to pull it up through your legs and into the space between your pubic bone and tailbone. And you're going to drop your mind into that pure white light. And you're going to allow that flame of fire to begin to spark, ignite your lower belly. You're going to allow your lower belly, where your feminine energy lives, to begin to awaken. And I'm going to invite you to experience, to take the time to feel, to receive that light that you are, that power that is the feminine creation within you this week. To be aware of what it triggers. Watch if you get a little antsy, anxious, upset, angry, bitter, resentful. Pay attention. Take note and then begin to ask yourself why. And many of you will also feel a spark of pure energy. That's your feminine in action. So when you're not met, when you're not received, when you're not seen, and you feel somebody else putting out onto you their unhealed feminine energy, whether in a male body or female body, it doesn't matter. Stay connected to you. Stay connected to your creation source and be in it. And show up. You might feel like saying a few things to bring truth to a situation, or you might stay silent, or you might just really say it like it is. But you have to use discernment. You have to know what will really best serve your intention. You need to know your intention. Are you here to bring light to this person? Shed a new opening to this person? Or are you here to allow them to be who they are as you stay centered in yourself and know, it's not my role or my place to say anything in this situation. I'm going to let it be. So your discernment regarding your intention, what your feminine creation is really here for, is how you work with when you're not being really met, not seen, not received, not heard in your feminine. Thank you so very much for joining with me. I'd love to have you part of the membership community. Check out the work at ayanalahi.com, IANALAHI.com, and begin with subscribing, signing up for the free video series, Living from Your Wild Heart, on my website, and check out all the free events. And know that there'll be more and more postings of short classes for you to partake in that are free. And everything is there on the website, holding you in deep love. Until next time, this is Ayana Lihi.